AITA for ruining my brother-in-law's reputation by telling the truth to my friends. My in-laws are currently furious with me for hurting my brother-in-law's feelings and reputation with my friend group. Recently my single brother-in-law, Chris, 38 meters, has been hinting at me to introduce him to women and I've refused. Chris has been single for almost 3 years and he has been having a hard time meeting women. He tried flirting with my friend but she had been cold and non-receptive. This was my friend, Grace, 35F. Grace is not interested in him due to his inability to be faithful and she wasn't physically attracted to him. He tried to flirtatiously engage with her during a small party my husband and I had last Saturday. My husband got a long-awaited promotion so we had little party. During the party Grace had grown frustrated with his incessant flirting and at some point told him, in no uncertain terms, she found him physically ugly and that his physical ugliness is only surpassed by the ugliness of his character. She told him this in private and so no other guest had heard her scathing review of his personhood. Chris left the party the following afternoon while my husband and I were nursing a wicked hangover. My in-laws to my surprise called to scold me for having abused and embarrassed Chris. After a few minutes of his shouting back and forth on the phone, I reminded my husband that handling his family was his job. So while my husband argued with his parents I reviewed our security cameras. And honey Grace verbally tore him apart. Grace reminded him that he cheated and divorced his late ex-wife, Lily, while she was battling cancer and that he then got dumped by the mistress for being a cheater as he continued to cheat on her. Grace told him that he wasn't a man of any significant value other than the few coins he had in the bank and that there's no way in hell she'd entertain his delusions of sexual grandeur and beauty. She also said the only thing he had going for him was his over-bloated job title as an executive director to a third-rate company that will probably collapse in the next 5 years. As a parting gift she told him to consider some cosmetic work to improve his haggard appearance and perhaps to start praying for divine intervention to fix his rotten soul since there is no way a psychotherapist could ever come close to fixing whatever is wrong with him. My in-laws and Chris feel that I shouldn't have told my friends what Chris did because he's now perceived by my girlfriends as a terrible person. I told them he was unfortunately a terrible person and people would have always found out what happened between him and the late, great Lily. I then discussed what happened with my colleague, Natasha. She said I was cruel for having told my friend group about what happened between Chris and his ex-wife because Chris had grown a lot in the past 2 years and didn't need to be known for the worst thing he has ever done. Natasha is dating Chris's friend, so she also knows him. I've only discussed Chris's treatment of Lily with my direct friend group and that's only 6 people and half of them already knew as they were also friends with Lily. So it's not like I'm screaming hear ye in the town square. NTA. I appreciate you doing your duty in saving other women from this degenerate. NTA. NTA sounds like you did good and protected your friends. He can go somewhere else. It's like a job. What if you introduce a friend and recommend them for the job? Your reputation is on the line then, and same here, your friends would never look at you the same if you recommended a cheater to them in any shape or form. So much is wrong with your Bill and his parents. He's a grown man but his parents are calling around asking people to keep his past misdeeds secret so that they don't inconvenience him. Talk about enabling bad behavior. I wonder how he came to be so entitled as to feel he can do no wrong even if he's cheating on a cancer patient or harassing some poor girl at a party after she's surely made it clear she isn't interested. That is sarcasm. I think mommy and daddy's phone call makes it clear how he came to be this way. You are not wrong for telling your friends true things. You wouldn't be wrong if she were a complete stranger and you didn't want her to be preyed upon by someone awful. NTA. You had every right to tell your friends what happened between Chris and his ex-wife. He's the one who has a terrible reputation, not you for just sharing the truth with your close group of friends. Also, kudos to Grace for giving him a much-needed reality check. Truth is an absolute defense to defamation. NTA. What kind of friend would you be if you didn't warn your friends about his cheating? If he's grown, then he can prove that. You do not owe him any setups, much less ones you've lied to by omission. I love Grace already. Chris isn't in a position to complain about gossip, since he went crying to his parents. But in the future, you should probably not invite him to functions where he might hit on your female guests and ruin their evening. NTA. AITA. Sometimes the truth is a bitter pill to swallow. Tell Natasha to set Chris up with her female friends or family, then. NTA. It's not as if you posted the information about his infidelities on social media. What you did is to warn your friends to stay away from someone of questionable character. Emo. There's nothing wrong with that. AITA. Chris did that to his own reputation. AITA. Because anyone would tell their friends the juice. Also, I definitely tell them when my in-laws try to flirt with them so they know what they get into if they fall for it. Clearly NTA. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Besides, your friend avoided his advances but he persisted. She gave him what he deserved because he wouldn't accept no for an answer. Friend also is NTA. NTA. Honestly, you're a good friend. Imagine having not said anything and watching your best mates have their lives flushed down the toilet. Changed. Right. Gotten better at whinging to his parents. Are you sure he's not a teenager? NTA. Honestly, there is a whole tirade I could go into about the demonization of gossip and how it actually benefits women, but I shall refrain. Maybe you should say that if giving someone's honest and relatively recent personal history is that bad, maybe they should take some accountability for that. NTA. If Chris didn't want to be outed as a cheater, he shouldn't have created. Also, if he didn't want to get torn apart by Grace, he should have accepted Grace's rejection gracefully and backed off. NTA. NTA. Even if gossiping about him to your friends can be a bit borderline, you would have told the truth about him to his pickup target if she is your friend. NTA. Chris brought this on himself not only by his past actions but also by continuing to pursue someone who has said no to him. She does not owe him an explanation, and his continued harassment of her resulted in this. Wow, she went hard. I don't blame her. NTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.